Good afternoon. This is a live broadcast of a public notice on some very important information. All right. So this is a public notice. The title of this public notice is ChildCare / ChildBaring-Basics. All right. Today's date is January 17th, the year 2024, and it is Wednesday. All right. Wednesday afternoon. The time is 3:45 p.m. EST / 12:45 p.m. PST time. All right. So it is, we just got to tick up. It is 3:46 p.m. EST time. And it is Wednesday afternoon. All right. The title of this public notice is ChildCare / ChildBaring-Basics. We should all have realized and come to our own conclusions by now that this is a man eats man world. And your identity can be taken if you don't have the protection or the right people around you. All right? So, we have to be careful on decision making. All right? Because in some places, it is still anarchy. All right? And people are still suffering. All right. So you have to make wise decisions before considering raising children. All right. Because it is difficult to earn a living, all right, and to continue to continuously pay large amounts of rent, all right, for the duration of your life. All right, so it can be hard, all right. And that's stress. That's not a life. That's not a desirable life. And that is what most conditions are. All right. You have to afford to maintain a roof over your head. All right. Now, my current address is 156 East 178th Street, apartment 3F, in the Bronx, New York, 10453. I moved in this apartment in the year 2005. All right. So it's going on 20 years of me renting this apartment. All right. And I've had a hard time staying ahead of my bills. All right. And once you fall behind, it's almost inevitable that you are going to continue to fall behind. All right. Because when you're barely making enough to get by and you fall behind, now you hoping on a big payday. All right. And that rarely happens. All right. Because it was hard to enjoy the luxuries of a big payday to begin with. All right. Money, currency is not easy, or should I say, it is difficult to sustain steady flow of income. All right. Especially if you depending on running the business. All right. So it is extremely hard. I've lived check to check, struggling, falling behind on rent, needing help. All right, for pretty much most of me renting space. All right. Now, I made a note to myself that I would not bring children into this world. I would not attempt. Well, I would try my best to avoid, birthing a child. All right, or raising a child. All right, breeding a newborn. All right, unless I can properly raise and provide, all right, for that child for the duration of his life, his or her life. All right, especially with the mind frame that I have now. All right, so let's keep in mind that if you face hardships and couldn't quite provide yourself, the happiness and the comforts that you wanted, then it's not likely that your offspring are going to do much better. All right, because they are going to learn from you. All right, and if you didn't do a good job, what do you have to teach? All right, so we are doing a bad job at nurturing our land. All right, because we are bearing children, and we cannot even provide for ourselves properly. All right, we cannot even care for ourselves properly. All right, we cannot even get together like family, all of us, and develop a working culture that benefits us all. Corporate employees, right? People on the waiting list, charitable organizations, All right. So we haven't done a good job at that. What we've done is created lives where people are stressed out over bills. All right. Not creating enjoyable moments. All right. Because that costs a lot of money. All right. Turning into lives of crime, and fighting, right? So, for power, all right? As I said, there's still tyranny, right? And it's in many forms. And then, we have women who want to bear children and treat them like slaves. All right. So this public notice, all right, and evil can go unnoticed. All right. So there's a lot of deception going on in these households. All right. And you may be a good person, but you can't hold on to dirty secrets and call yourself a good person. All right. So the title of this public notice is called ChildCare / ChildBaring-Basics. All right. It is Wednesday, January 17th, the year 2024. The time is 3:56 p.m. New York City time. Broadcasting from the Bronx, New York. All right. My contact information is tariq.grant@gmail.com. All right. You can also email me at certifiedlifestylecoach@outlook.com. You can also video chat me on my Instagram page, Tariq Grant, and my Facebook page, Tariq Grant. All right. You can chat message me as well. Text message me via Instagram and Facebook. All right. The time is 3:57 p.m. EST time. It is Wednesday, January 17th, the year 2024. All right, now let's get on with the announcement, because it is very important that we nurture our land, and it starts with our children, our young. All right. When you think of starting a family, all right, I want you to think of adopting a pet. All right, pet adoption. All right, when you plan on bringing a puppy into your home, do you ever envision that puppy having to fend for itself? Of course not. Right? You plan on nurturing that puppy and giving that puppy a warm, loving home until, it decides that it's ready to move on to the next life. All right? So, if that's how we care for our adorable puppies, we groom them into become mature dogs, and then we spoil them, right, and let them be lazy and do what they want, as they mature even further, even greater. and become elders. And when they're ready to move on, they hopefully they received as much nurturing and as much love as most dogs receive. All right, and then that's a good life. All right, so you're never going to right? We don't adopt the puppy, and then when the puppy turns 2 years old and matures a bit, open our doors and say, all right, now you have to go because you're a dog now, right? We don't do that. All right, so we shouldn't do that to our children. Okay, so when you decide to bring a child into this world, all right, all shelter, meals, allowances, education, all right, vices, job title, etc., should be taken care of. All right, from the beginning of birth, until that person, that individual passes. All right, so their lives should be pretty much managed already, based on what you've learned, based on how you was able to build comfort, all right, and establish peace and happiness regularly, all right, without have most of your days without any worry, all right, and you believe that your family could do it, or you have everything lined up. You have the allowances lined up. You have enough to provide for your child. All right. And that's not just a man's responsibility. That is the couple's responsibility. All right. Man and woman. All right. Should have, everything figured out. All right. Activities, titles, like your title should be passed on to your child's title. To your child. All right. And if they do mature and grow and decide to add income to the household and become employed, all right, that allowance is still that allowance that you had set up for them is still their allowance. So you should then have a conversation with them. Say, well, you have a job now. Can I spend some of your allowance? And it should be okay because y'all all family taking care of each other. And right. And now he is mature or she is mature, and maybe they will want to work, right, and take on some of your job responsibilities. So then y'all can share the job. Right. So that's how we should think about bringing children into this world. All right. When you bring a child into this world, you should have their room, set, the way you would want to live. Right. As much space as you desire, they should have similar space. All right. And you don't need much space to be comfortable. All right. A 1-bedroom apartment for a small family, with one child or two, right? That's enough space. All right. Because we usually spend most of our time in one area anyway. Right. And that area is comfortable. That's where we like to hang out. And, as long as you have your necessities. All right. Comfort is in your activities. All right. Joy is in your surroundings. All right. Not your house. Well, not your estate per se. All right. Joy is in the energy. All right. It's in your company. It's in your activity. All right. It's in your hobbies. All right. It's in your relaxation, but you don't need much space to relax at home. Right. we have parks, we have recreation centers, we have theaters, and we have outings, right? And the list goes on of social occasions. And normally, we pay to go to these events anyway. So there's really no need to have a whole lot of property, acres, all right, square footage, when you're not utilizing it, and it becomes a waste, all right, and we have to be wise with our resources, all right, and when that space is not maintained, the area starts to rot. All right. And that affects everyone's environment. All right. So upkeep, all right, maintaining property, maintenance, just cleaning, all right, takes energy. It costs money, all right. It takes time, all right, to upkeep and maintain. And you don't want to pass that work on to your children. All right. So you want to create space that's easy to upkeep but comfortable, like a hotel suite. All right. And then that is ideal. All right. So, and then that suite becomes your children, right? That, that's their, like their room is their room forever. Even if they move out, right? That space should still be held for them as security, right? Because times are rough. Times can get rough, right? So your child should never have to worry about a bed or shelter or food. Like shelter, food, utility bills, allowances, clothing, right? Entertainment, right? Tutoring, all of that should be provided. All right. And also your job title, because you will grow old, right? And you worked so hard for that title, right? You brought children into this world, right? Someone has to pay the bills, right? So you're not going to leave them without a stream of income when you leave. So that title is theirs, and that should already be established with your employers, right? That should be everyone's system, workforce structure. All right. So your children know that, they can ease your workload because they don't have to work. So maybe you want to take a vacation and they can fill in and do your job because everybody knows your children. Or he's filling in for his father for a few weeks, right? This is going to be his job soon anyway, right? We all family. So that's how life should be. So I do what's going on today is we expect children to fend for themselves and do better than we did, right? And that's not realistic. Because if you couldn't figure out how to create a worry-free day or a worry-free month, all right, then don't expect your children to be able to do that consistently. All right. And I'm using worry-free day and month vaguely. All right. Because sometimes stress can be overlooked. Right. Just like a regular day. And you really worry that I can't do this for 20 years. Right. I can't do this for another. So you still worrying. Right. Almost from once you realize that it's hard to save money, you start worrying like, I can't do this forever. All right. So that's stress. Okay. So we do have to get familiar with my workforce and housing proposal. All right. It was last updated in either July or August of last year, 2023. So just type workforce and housing proposal in the search box, right? And type the date, a date from July or August, or just keep scrolling down till you get to August and July and find the post. All right. Or just type workforce and housing proposal, workforce, and the and is the S sign with a slash in the middle. The S sign with a slash in the middle. Workforce and housing proposal. Search that on my Facebook page, Tariq Grant, and abide by. It's an action plan, to help get you closer to closer to a culture that actually has a system in place that is geared towards people really enjoying their life. All right. So get familiar with the workforce and housing proposal because it is an action plan. All right. To help you lower your rents. All right. And bring notice to, my workforce theory. All right. 4 hours a day, 20 hours a week, minimum wage salary. All right. So we just have to bring our rents down. All right. And learn how to budget. Right. Because you will get raises. You will get promotions. All right. You will not worry so much about bills. All right. Because your income matches your monthly rent. All right. Right now it doesn't match. Right. It doesn't equivalent to comfort. All right. It's worry. Barely enough. Working a lot. All right. My workforce and housing proposal is worry about very little. Working comfortably 4 hours a day. You can do anything for 4 hours a day. You start, and before you know it, an hour done passed, and I'll be out of here in a couple of hours, right? And it's us making sure that we govern our apartments, all right, and townhouses, all right, and make sure that they are not unfairly hiking up wages. All right. So get familiar with the workforce and housing proposal. All right. it works for corporate as well. All right. So it's hard to deny when corporate, they have to work too, right? They have to maintain the business. All right. But they can do that working 4 hours a day. Right. And you can adjust schedules. Right. So, this person does 4 hours here. This person does 4 hours here. That's an 8-hour shift for the employer. Right. It's not necessary for the employer to impose a mandate that he must work 8 hours a day, right? So understand that our system was designed to keep us from progressing, all right? So it's not going to take, it's not going to be fixed, overnight, right? It's a gradual process. So there will be regulations on childbearing. All right. You must be a professional. All right. Confident that you can earn money forever in your career of choice. All right. To start with. All right. So there's going to be an outline on what we define a professional. All right. So there will be mandates. All right. So, a brief outline of a rule for potentially new parents. All right. The rule would be both parents must be professionals for at least 8 to 10 years within a career. All right. So that's just a quick outline of one of the rules. All right. So we will be updating the public regularly. All right. And we appreciate your patience. And for current parents who have grown sons and daughters, all right, and who are well off, all right. If I'm well off, I would of course not want to see my children struggling, not 1 second. All right. So if I'm well off, it's not even a question that I'm taking care of my children forever, especially if I'm well off. All right. And if I'm not doing so good, then we're going to work together as a team. All right. So that's an easy answer to a question for me. All right. What about, current matters with parents and, their children? All right. I believe that, it is the parent's responsibility. All right. But, these are new changes. And what would the world think of you if you did not provide for your children and you are well off? So that's just bad energy. right? That's a bad reputation to have. So we're going to conclude with my thoughts on, or my mandates on, and my thoughts on same-sex childbearing. All right, but before I move on, I want you parents to ask yourselves, would you want a layout like I described? All right, in terms of when you come into this world, you don't have to worry about, you don't really have to worry about or stress for anything. All right, and anything extra that you do is because you want to, and because you are motivated and inspired somehow to do it, right? And if you want to change course, it's possibly okay if it's a wise decision based on us not leaving what we start incomplete, because that's a bad habit. All right, but not anything to stress about, like, oh, I'm not going to be able to pay for gas, right? Not anything like that. Just, finish what you start, just because you set your mind to do something and you don't know if the universe has something prepared for you when you complete it. It might have a surprise for you. All right, and you might disappoint the universe because they was hoping that you would complete it. All right, so that's why you have to be careful with your decision making, and only work 4 hours a day. All right, so that way it's hard to disappoint when you only making small goals, doable goals, realistic goals at a time. All right. So you parents should really ask yourself, what would you want? The layout I design or what we have now? All right, where you can hope things work out for the best. All right, you can hope that your company is ran efficiently and their retirement plan adds up and they treat their employees with, the proper guidance, or give the proper guidance. All right. So, or would you prefer that your father or that both of your parents, your father and your mother, already has things taken care of for you, and you can still work, and that just adds more security to your life? All right. So you guys have to be honest with your answers. And for anyone who has ambition, it's better to pursue dreams when you don't have deadlines, right? You don't have stress, you don't have worry. Now you can take your time and really work out the details. All right. All right. So my thoughts and my mandates on same-sex childbearing. A child needs both parents to help him mature and develop. All right. Both parents mean his biological mother and his biological father. All right? Because they both have a lot to offer individually. All right? They both have different information to give him. All right? He needs varying affection from both. All right? He may need strength and discipline from his father. He may need to be spoiled and educated by the mother. All right? He may need to be educated by his father and spoiled, and disciplined by the mother. All right? He may need to just learn how his father thinks, right? Or his father's mannerism, right? He may want to understand his mother's attitude, right? He may like to hang out with his mother for one activity and his father for another, or he or she. So what I'm saying is, you don't know what information the other gender has to what lessons that has to be passed on to that child from both parents. All right. So, and same-sex couples relationships is not natural. All right. So now you are sending the wrong message. All right, to children, and some people don't know how to have these conversations and educate their children. They think their children is just supposed to understand what life is, right? And that's poor parenting. All right, that's misguiding. All right, so if you are setting a tone that same-sex relationships are natural, and not really educating your child, then you're setting your child up for confusion. All right? He's going to be confused about men, he or she. All right? And they are going to be confused about your child. All right? Just by lack of parental guidance. All right. So you should want the healthiest situation for your child. All right. And we shouldn't underestimate what the opposite sex brings to your child's, to the value of your child's life. All right. Now, I believe we've all experienced being a child, and I'm sure we all appreciate it or have thoughts, about being raised with both loving parents. And I think we would all prefer to be raised by both loving parents. All right? That's just security for your best interests. All right? So, I mean, biological parents, right? So, there will be a ban on same-sex couples to bring children into their home. All right? Children need to understand what and why, well, at least what was intended, all right, for them to be happy with a life companion, all right. I believe their best chances, their best opportunity is with the opposite sex. All right. You don't want to start your children off with unfavorable odds of finding love. All right. Because that's what life is all about. You want to find someone that loves you, someone that you love intimately, all right, sexually, all right, and honestly, for as long as that relationship lasts, right? That's what we want, and that's hard to do when you're looking for someone who is the same genre of you. All right, so the time is 4:32 p.m. EST time. It is Wednesday, January 17th, the year 2024. And that concludes this public notice. Again, the title of this public notice is ChildCare / ChildBaring-Basics. And we covered our main rule, one of our main rules, one of our main mandates, all right, about childbearing. All right, you should have, everything provided for that child. All right, and that regulation goes along with our workforce and housing proposal. All right, so they all intertwine and they make sense towards comfort. All right, and we just spoke about same-sex marriages. Same-sex child adoption. All right, so stay posted to what we deliver on Platinum TV. And follow the rules. All right, follow the rules. Prioritize comfort. All right, our rules are not that difficult. We appreciate your viewership.